Huh. I just need a key. Yay! Ask and you shall receive. Now I just need the Book of Revelations is what's going to be waiting for me in there. Shit. Taffy, ever have plans to get to Chicago? Would love to take you to Portillo's so you can say you've eaten the epicness. Would be fun to hang out and talk about anything besides Isaac. I mean, you know, the world's got to not be on fire first. But then, yeah, that sounds great. I have plans to go to a lot of places once traveling isn't potentially fatal for people. But I you know, call me a cynic. Call me a cynic, but I'm suddenly under the impression that I don't think the world's gonna get back to normal for anybody who's being reasonably cautious till like 2023. Which bums me out because you know, nobody's having it. Well, I take that back. People who don't give a shit are having a good time during the pandemic. I was really hoping for a soul heart in here. Yeah, people who give zero shits are having a great time during the pandemic, but, reasonable people. Nobody's enjoying themselves right now. But all that being said, like, it's hard not to be super bitter about the fact that this whole fucking thing is gobbling up the last couple of years of what I could reasonably consider my youth. Yeah, after the pandemic is over, it's starting to sound like the modern day equivalent of like when we win the lottery. Yeah, Sheka. You know, seeing footage of like maskless people at like football games and stuff like that, and I'm just like, ugh. I wish I didn't care. I'm gonna be celebrating my 42nd birthday yet again with very few people around. For the second birthday in a row, it's gonna be very few people around, probably. Yeah, man, I'm not getting any younger. Like, obviously, if I was in my 20s, I'd be super pissed about losing my prime to this. If I was like my parents and in my 60s, I'd be super pissed about losing, you know. My mom was saying that she's bummed out that she's missing out a lot on her twilight or golden years, depending on how you want to call it. I got in an argument with a dude for a split second on Twitter during my vacation. Mike the Bard was showing footage of like 80,000 people at a Virginia Tech game, shoulder to shoulder and maskless, and talking about how irresponsible it is. And I guess one of Mike's viewers was just like, man, everybody just needs to chill out. He's like, let people live their lives. He's like, I'm taking my kids to movies and restaurants and football games, and we're just not wearing masks. Let people make choices for themselves. And I made the mistake of jumping in on that, and this dude was just like, fucking over the moon proud of how reckless he could be. He might as well have been like, yeah, man, we don't wear seatbelts. My kids don't have any other vaccinations. For his 5th birthday, I gave my son a loaded 9mm. I'm sure he'll be fine. And eventually I just had to mute him because I was like, yeah, you know what, man, for your kids' sakes, I hope they come out of this okay. I hope your kids come out of this just fine, despite your best efforts. And he was like, yeah, man, we went and saw Shang-Chi today, no masks, it was great. And I was like, this pandemic's gonna turn me into a Bond villain working against humanity. This fucking species. I'm over it. I'm over us. Dragon, what's going on? Yeah, it's let the people enjoy things, but instead it's let the people die and kill each other. Yeah, dude, Vampire BR was an awful lot of fun. Drastic, whiplashy change of subject, but as long as that thought was rattling around inside my head, Van Hyperscape. That game looked more fun than Hyperscape. I genuinely ended up watching that for like an hour last night. What's so wrong? Listen, Mouse Soldier, honestly, I'd let every single anti-vax, anti-mask person on the planet, if it was like smoking alone in your house, if every single anti-vax, anti-mask person on the planet wanted to spit in each other's mouths and just let Darwinism take the wheel, I not only would support their right to do so, I would fucking encourage it, because frankly, I'm learning through this experience that the herd could stand to be culled a little bit. The problem is that I can't just throw my hands up and be like, fuck them, let them kill each other. Because ultimately, all my conscience can stand and deal with is kids who are looking up to their parents to know better, that are gonna get sick and or, you know, develop chronic conditions and or die. That much like drunk driving, if it only killed the drunk drivers, it wouldn't bother me at all. But it doesn't just kill the drunk drivers, it kills, you know, the family that's in the oncoming traffic lane that takes a head-on and loses 2 or 3 of their members of their family while the drunk driver is fine. If it only affected the people making bad decisions, I would buy catering for the spit in each other's mouths party. All these people who are just like, let me make my own decisions and lead my own life, let me decide what's best for me. It's the equivalent of wanting to smoke on an airplane. If it was only affecting them, I'd let them, fuck them at this rate. I'm over it. Let dumb people make bad decisions. I'm more than happy to let them. My only problem is that if I let dumb people make bad decisions, I mean, like I can do anything to stop them, but if I stop being vocal about it and switch sides and go, yeah, just let them do their things. Then I gotta sit there and be, I gotta sit there and feel accountable for like the immunocompromised person who gets sick and dies, not the person who carries it asymptomatically, who's just like, I just want to see movies inside movie theaters and get my hair cut. I just want to go to concerts again. Brooks and Dunn ain't gonna watch itself. If they were only affecting themselves, I'd be more than happy to let the herd cull itself. It's the collateral damage that bothers me. That guy that I was Twitter arguing with couldn't see that I wasn't upset that he was potentially gonna put himself on a ventilator. That's fine. But he's gonna, you know, he's gonna put further stress on an already bent to broken healthcare system so that somebody who's having a heart attack can't get an ICU bed because a bunch of COVIDiots are clogging up the, you know, the same people who were just like, the same people who are like, I'll just let my immune system do its thing, are also the first people to rush to the hospital and beg them for literally any, like, listen, what's in that blue bottle over there? That's glass cleaner. Well, put that in me. Maybe that'll help. Pandemic in quotation marks. Ah, Mouse Soldier. I've missed you. Welcome back. It's been a long time since I've had somebody just be that fucking wrong. Ah, the source of the new hot take. Yeah, ultimately that's where I land on it, is that if your bad decisions only affected you, then I'd be totally okay with it. Because frankly, you know, like, again, it's one of those things where if not wearing a seatbelt because of your liberties only launched you out of a windshield, and not into the passenger seat of some minivan going the other direction, then I would be more than happy to let you trebuchet yourself into the median strip of a freeway. Because it's your right. It's your right to terminate your life prematurely if you feel so inclined, but I just, your desire to see Shang-Chi in movie theaters doesn't feel more important to me than making sure that the people who are most vulnerable on this planet are as protected as humanly possible. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I'm fully vaxxed. I still wear my mask, and I try not to go to public gatherings, don't go to movies. Still got COVID 2 weeks ago. I don't do all these things to keep myself safe because I came out fine. I do all these things to keep others weakened immune system or anti-vax safe. And I hate that people are willingly won't take the vaccine. It's just, you know, fucking pandemics aren't new. The playbook for pandemics aren't new. The rural town in Virginia, Western Virginia, that we went to had a historical placard up talking about how over a century ago the entire town shut down for a polio pandemic, and how strange it was to all of them. That you know, they had to cancel events and quarantine and stay away from each other in an effort to make sure that fucking polio didn't kill a bunch of people. But there wasn't like social media and weird conspiracy theory echo chambers back then. So what they did was they quarantined, and then when the vaccine came out, they took the fucking vaccine, and then polio went away. It just strikes me, I don't know, man. It just strikes me as being incredibly selfish. But the problem, the thing that really makes me like sad is the only word I can think of. The thing that makes me sad is that it bothers me how selfish some people are being, but it certainly doesn't bother the people who are being selfish, you know? It makes me sad that I'm bearing, because I have no choice, not because anybody asked me to. It's the kind of person that I am, that I'm bearing this like emotional and spiritual weight for all of humanity's ghastly, god-awful decisions. But the people who, you know, who really badly want to sit close to each other in an Applebee's, bougie like Applebee's, you know, those are the ones that I feel like should be taking long, hard looks in the mirror, and they're just wholly unaffected. Polio isn't gone, it's still around in other parts of the world. The only reason it's not here in the US is because we get vaccinated. We vaccinate our children. As someone who's in the most vulnerable group, I've done literally everything possible to try to avoid it. And only left for hospital appointments, most of which were changed to phone ones. Still got COVID, now have long COVID, and have had both jabs. And the doctor said my immunity is so bad that I could get it again anyway, and I really don't think I could survive it again. Mouse Soldier says, exactly, plagues aren't new, even good for us in the environment. I'll die on the hill of natural causes, but enough doomsaying out of me, back to lurking. See, I feel like the only reason you're able to take that cavalier of a stance is because you know that the likelihood of you being the one who's asked to lay themselves down on the pyre of natural selection is low. And that's the part that gets me about a lot of the biggest, like, COVID cowboys, is that the people that I feel like are most emphatic about, like, well, we just gotta learn how to live with this thing. It's just a part of who we are. And yeah, some people are gonna die, but we gotta get football games back. And we gotta get this economy going again. We gotta get the workers back working again. And I genuinely feel like the overwhelming majority of people who fall into that camp are the people who know, who are playing the statistics, right? Well, it's 90 plus % people survive it. They're playing the statistics that if they get it, they'll be fine. They're not the ones falling in the crosshairs of natural selection. It's all those sad, bald cancer people. It's all those sad people hooked up to machines, and old people, which frankly, you know, old people are kind of a bummer to look at anyway. Pogman, what's going on, homie? Torrin, good morning as well. I feel like it's weird that I feel like it's weird that some people see me as the weird one for not wanting people to get sick from a preventable disease. As it turns out, people who didn't grow up with non-preventable diseases don't understand how horrific diseases are. Yeah, it's, you know. My kids have like, what, like 10 vaccines that get pumped into them before they can go to school, and nobody politicizes those. But I get excited about the prospect of getting them a vaccine for the newest disease, and somehow, like, there are folks who look at me like I'm weird. Mouse Soldier says, fuck it, Taffy, I'm suicidal, I'll fucking die, alright. That's fair. I mean, it's, you know, then I guess it's fair to say that you and I value life differently. I still feel like I have very good reasons to get up in the morning. This just in, 100% of people are destined to die, so why do anything? I hate that I use the word cavalier for people like that, because cavalier makes me think of like swashbuckling pirates. And I don't think there's anything chivalrous or romantic about what they're doing. It's just... It's reckless and careless with panache, you know? Like I said, I wish there was... Ooh, that's fine. I wish there was a different word besides cavalier. Because cavalier, yeah, in my mind, is like swashbuckling pirate. And in my mind, there's nothing debonair or chivalrous about what's happening. It's too early to be this existential. Welcome to the last 2 years of my streaming life, No Pants Dance Party. Wake up every day going like, man, I wonder what kind of sandwich we're gonna talk about today. I get 45 minutes in. Suddenly I'm Chris Wallace leading some sort of global town hall. Glib doesn't feel strong enough either. Flippin' has some of the right flavor rubbed on it, but still it's like negligent. Like arrogantly negligent. I had to look for the word. Feckless is a good one. Ooh, feckless might be even better than like arrogantly, homicidally reckless and negligent. Lacking initiative or strength of character, irresponsible. It's a lot of the people that in my mind's eye, like the people who expect to survive this. The people who would also expect that because they're young and healthy, if they got it and things got serious, would genuinely, aggressively expect doctors to give them every fucking treatment under the sun to bring them back to life because they're young, healthy, contributing members of society, not old people or sick people. Listen, old people and sick people were on death's doorstep anyway. They're not even fun to look at, so... my only sin was that I wanted a Miller High Life outside of my house. This WWE event was not going to watch itself in person. Huh. Thanks, Nemesis Rat. Okay. Okay, I'm just being juggled to death. That's fun. Fun room. Nemesis Dragon says, you're respected for being a responsible influencer, using your voice to educate, inform, and entertain. Those are big words. I certainly didn't sign up for that. I initially just wanted to be a snarky old dude who played The Binding of Isaac, and cracked penis jokes all day and talked about food. Yeah, but generally speaking, I don't know how to be in the thick of all this and just not say anything, you know? I'm that too. I never signed up to be. I don't. Unlike the people doing nothing and expecting head pats for it, I'm doing what feels like the bare minimum of what I should have to do, and it's scary because I don't think of myself as an educated person, and I don't think of myself as some sort of weird fucking moral lighthouse for people. So I get real nervous about speaking my mind, because who the fuck am I that you should listen to me? I'm a dude who made a whole bunch of really bad life decisions in his 20s and 30s, and then a couple of good ones in his late 30s and early 40s. Who just happens to be okay at video games and rambling. But at the same time, I don't know, you know, when you see a storm of brewing, and whether it's civil rights or the pandemic or whatever, you see a storm brewing and it affects all of us. It's hard to, I feel like it would be, as scary as it is to like try to like draw a line in the sand and stand your ground, because I fucking hate conflict. I despise conflict. I don't know. I feel like Captain America would not approve of me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I feel like Captain America would be disappointed in me if I didn't at least speak my heart on a lot of this stuff. Did you see the new Matrix trailer? I didn't. I saw the teaser. I didn't see the trailer. I'm most excited about Jonathan Groff being in it. He's become kind of one of my new favorite people in entertainment. Specifically Chris Evans Captain America. I feel like Chris Evans Captain America would think poorly of me if I didn't, you know, push back on things that I see as being needlessly reckless and self-serving. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of half-price apps and draft beers at O'Charlie's. And allegedly making wine. I know it must be a lot to deal with and annoyingly repetitive, but I do appreciate that you call it out when you see it. It's hard to see stuff like that and think that everyone accepts it. Yeah, when the people who constitute a large portion of our viewership, God, I mean, you know, I develop an attachment to a lot of different people for a lot of different things. Here, like, their viewers share stuff with me, and it ingratiates me to them for reasons that I didn't anticipate. But like, you know, our viewers of color talked me through last summer, and even when they didn't have to feel obligated to like take chances to sort of like coach and educate me so that I could be more knowledgeable talking about specifically race in the United States, but race in general. The LGBTQ community, you know, educating a 41-year-old hetero old white dude who grew up in basically the Midwest. Jewish viewers walking me through, you know, what their day-to-day life is like. I don't know, man. It's hard for me because I spend so much time here community managing such a diverse group of individuals. I was empathetic to a fault before, where it actually, you know, I was too squishy and too bendable and too, you know, Nate will be the first one to tell you that I was agreeable to a fault for a really long time. He called me 99 Lives and Pretzels Switzerland, because there were times where he needed me to like side with him for something that we both agreed was common sense, but I was so pliable and so sort of spineless that I'd be like, oh no, you know what, I can see merit to both sides of the argument. And he'd be like, that is not what you told me in a call like 15 minutes ago. Please just have my back. You're a deciding vote on this. And I'm like, I abstain because I just don't want people to be mad at me. And so it's just, you know, it's hard for me to be in a situation where, I mean, my doctor literally told me If you get it, you'll probably be fine. Talking about COVID. But there's just, you know, so many people who hang out here that it's like, I may not make you directly sick, and I may not put you directly in the hospital, or your kids, or your parents, or whatever. But someone just like you, who just has the misfortune of living near me, you know? I spend a lot more time, making decisions based on how it affects the collective. I live with my elderly parents. My wife's in nursing school for RN. She was already an LPN with a BS in microbiology and virology focus. So I have to be up to date with the latest research. My good man, you're a man who's lived life, and now you're speaking bluntly and matter-of-factly about all sorts of things. I, for one, have to give you great respect for the way you articulate and apply your life-earned wisdom. Oof, again, I feel like I'm receiving entirely too much credit for just surviving for 41 years. How much Jewish few are about to eat lox? That sounds really good. Food in general sounds really good. I genuinely think I keep a lot of Jewish friends around because at some point I anticipate that one of you is gonna feed me. It's not that I listen. I have a great respect for your culture. I have a great respect for the history and tradition, but I have a bigger respect for dumplings, and so I'm looking forward to somebody hooking me up with matzo ball soup. That's basically just trust that if I've ever shown an interest in the part of the country you come from, if I've ever shown an interest in your religion, if I've ever shown an interest in you in general, it's not that I don't care about you, but odds are, in my head, I've associated you or your religious upbringing or the place that you live in the United States with delicious food of some sort. Yeah, I'm super curious about this mushroom and barley soup because it sounds so plain Jane. But the Jewish cuisine and aficionados speak very highly of this mushroom and barley soup. So now I'm curious. I'm curious what the hubbub's about because it sounds, I don't want to say boring, but it does sound very Little House on the Prairie, you know? Taffy keeps us around just in case he needs food in a new area of the country. Got it. Accurate. Listen, we just had a long conversation about me playing my cards out on the table, face up. There'll be people out there who will keep friends from different walks of life, almost like playing cards as chits to be played out for cred. I'm not leveraging you guys for that. I am absolutely leveraging everybody who's different from me for the food that you're associated with, my mind's eye. Which includes Packet Greaser. Weeks before the pandemic shut everything down, I was supposed to fly to Idaho. And my man was gonna feed me all the charred meats. All the medium rare beefs and all the charred meats. I was very much looking forward to that. What else we got? The Devil. 2 of clubs? Yeah, because I'm about to use one right there. Do I go pay to win or do I go... Yeah, it's only Holy Mantle once per floor. I think I go pay to win. Can fly to which state? Can you say it slowly? Idaho. I still owe ramen to Taff and some others next time. See, that's Pogman's my San Diego hookup. Pogman was I ended up being so stinking busy on my last trip to TwitchCon, which was surprising to me because nobody's ever really valued my time at these things before. Yeah, Pogman was supposed to show me around and I essentially had to, this is how you know I was serious about what I was trying to get done in San Diego last year. I sacrificed my culinary tourism, which is generally how I gauge whether or not I had a good time at a place, was how well did I eat. I feel like when you have this one particular... I feel like when you have this one particular planetarium, you get two secret rooms per floor, but I have no idea if I invented that stat or not. Yeah, I sacrificed my my culinary tourism to have a more productive stretch at TwitchCon. I can't believe did I make that up? I can't believe I made that up. Yeah, it's an extra secret room per floor and one extra super secret room to each floor. Damn, what I wouldn't give for the red key. Ugh. Especially because we gotta go to Dogma on this floor. Maybe it's here? That is a better surefire way to find out. Let's come at it from this way. There it is. I had so many ways to charge an active item, but I don't have an active item. Yeah, this planetarium item is good. Not only do you get a half spirit heart for going into secret rooms, you also get a tears upgrade that lasts for the floor. You get an extra secret room and an extra super secret room. And it's cool if you have like I Can See Forever. Oh god. If you have X-ray vision or I Can See Forever or dog tooth or anything like that, you can get some good stuff done. I'd love to have red key and really exploit the shit out of having extra super secret rooms, ultra secret rooms or whatever. Double moon card must be living rent free in your head. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just yeah. I feel like there's like, I can't tell if it's genius or if it's irritating, but there's so many things in Isaac now that are like, I don't want to say game breaking, but ridiculously good synergies that are kind of hard to generate because there's just so much stuff now. You know, where like blank card used to do the effects of blank card, the effects of the blank rune, all that jazz. That now it's you know, it's hard, it's almost pure dumb luck whether or not you find the types of things you would need to make a really cool synergy like this particular planetarium item and the means to get to all the rooms it's attached to. Yeah, almost literally an example of choice paralysis. I mean, that was I've already forgotten the kid's name. That kid who came in here and was just like, oh, I'm brand new. Solar Kid came in here and was like, oh, I'm brand new, and I started making like decisions on what kind of run that first run was gonna be, and they didn't align with his decisions, and he was just like, you should have done this and you should have done that, and I was like, I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna win the way I want to win. How are you gonna get mad at me for not playing the way that makes you happy? But almost every single run now is comparable to almost every single run now feels comparable to like when you're playing Witcher 3 and you got to start doing a skill tree build or Path of Exile. Every run's like Path of Exile, where you're doing this like skill tree build, and you got to commit to, well, I want it to be this kind of run, which means I need to force blank type of items to show up, or I want it to be a different kind of run, which means I got to have another list of blank items show up. Really? I would have assumed. Well, I guess I should have been patient and just waited one room and I would have seen it was clearly not it. I feel like Tech... I feel like this version was a Tech Zero. Oh, you little rat bastard, Taffy. I feel like Tech Zero was not this noisy before. I hear Kidney Stone's kind of good with Tech X. I'd give it a shot. Shot speed down. That's not bad.
Gulp.
What did oh, pay to win. I go pay to win.
Amnesia.
Amnesia, you say? I should go to the shop first. Experimental pill. Speed down, range up. Sure. there be a second secret room? There sure is. Trying to figure out if there's a way I make that work. Who has done this thing to me? This is not bait chat. I'm merely reading the Rapids message out loud. 10,000 bits says, you know, I feel like chat owes you a big old fucking scam train today. Just saying. The Rapid, thank you so much, man. That's incredibly generous of you. That's, you know, again, I don't want to be, you know, oh, Taffy, oh, woe is me, your dream job has components of work to it. Oh, no. You sad boy. You know, but it can be a little bit weird. It's like, that's not the same, but it's like a less dire version of, like, a year ago, we had, people working at grocery stores that went from just like, oh, this is the job I could get. You know, this is the job I could get. I'm getting minimum wage, I'm stocking shelves, and I'm working as a cashier. And all of a sudden they became frontline warriors. You know, they became frontline warriors who were heroes, which means they're gonna get a parade and a nice speech written about them, but we're not gonna up how much they get paid. Same thing with like doctors and nurses and all that shit. That is a lot of big bombs. I'm not comparing myself to like doctors and nurses, but suddenly over the last couple of years, this job has had aspects of it that have been tied to it that I did not anticipate 7-8 years ago when I started, for sure. I watched Cobalt's Random Streak on YouTube, and I seem to recall that on one run he had Tech X and Kidney Stone
of the newest
just steamrolled just about every other floor in Bossy Fight. I'll pick it up 100%. I'll pick it up for sure. Kidney Stone and Tech X, if it's really good, if it just fires out like a string of circles or something like that, I'll be giddy. Even though Tech X is great, I still don't like thumb runs all that much. Thermal Knight with a gifted tier 1 sub that goes to Hot Toddy. Thank you, Thermal Knight. Snakebitten says, you dancing monkey, how dare you not play the video game? We're watching you play like I play it. I'll correct this at once. I gave a firm but fair course correction. I reminded this person they are probably half my age and that I have 7,000 hours in this game. And that I wasn't really looking to be backseated, and I haven't heard peep from them since. So there's a part of me that's like, they either took that constructive criticism or they took their fresh follow and left, and either way, it's probably for the best. Mimi LaRue has continued their tier 1 subscription through October. Mimi LaRue, thank you so much. Speaking of being dumb, I have to get ready for this interview. Yeah, break a leg. Best of luck. If you're at all interested in hype training, there's about 1:30 left to start one, and it is September. Throwing it out there. I gotta do my part. I gotta monetize the stream and make sure that I march out the painfully obvious in front of you. Uh-oh, what's going on here, Bighorn? I'm gonna go ahead and do this just to speed things up a little. I would love to get like Sacred Heart, which is kind of a no shit thing to say, but I would love to get Sacred Heart. I would love to get Sacred Heart for the homing aspect of it. Torin drops 5 gifted Unintendo. Gaben, Dusty D, Moral TV, and Huzfelt. Recipients of 5 gifted from Torin. Thank you so much, man. Richie gifts a tier 1 sub to Nemesis Dragon. Meat Shield with 100 bits says, just barely tagging along. Meat Shield, thank you. Thinking about when I was considered a frontline hero and essentially got Jack all really fucks with me. That was kind of the theme of the pandemic. A chance to fix a lot of the shit in this country we just kind of shrugged our shoulders at. Yep. Yep. That was, I was bummed out when I felt like I saw the writing on the wall come together for that, where
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
we kept hearing like, oh man, we just realized who the real heroes of the pandemic are. Is, you know, everybody who.
Hey, Taffy, man, what does it mean when there's like bits, but a lot of them?
We're realizing who we truly can't live without. We can't live without the people who make infrastructure go. We can't live without our healthcare workers. We can't live without our frontline people. It's like, oh, cool. So you're gonna like do a bunch of good for and by them after it's done, right? It's like, no. I was thinking a parade.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
I was thinking a parade, and then we never speak of this again. Parade? Yeah, parade. Oh yeah, parade. What about meaningful legislation and a wage hike? No. Parade. What about benefits? Parade. We get the benefit of a parade. Pizza party. I remember healthcare workers talking about how they were like, yeah, we can't pay for more overtime and we can't bring on more people to help. But if you guys would like, I know you're all borderline depressed and you know, contemplating a career change, but would you like some free pizza, compliments of the hospital? You'd like some free pizza, compliments of the hospital. Mimi LaRue gifts a tier 1 sub that goes to Fuzzy Night. Mimi LaRue, thank you so much. Rusted Red, thank you for the itty bitties. We'll bang pots and pans at 7 o'clock to let you guys know we appreciate your potential sacrifice. But we're not going to take care of you and yours. Don't be silly. You're a hero, great. Can I use the paid time off I've earned? No, but you can listen to people bang pots and pans. Torrance says, can a mod add my 5 gifted to Knights of the Old Republic too? Thank you guys so much. The rapid, you know, thanks for starting us off. Darth Shield with 1,100 bits that I somehow managed to miss during all that. Apocalyptic D's going to Hype and Void Bastards, and Abs with the gifted tier 1 sub to Hella Zach. Abs, thank you so much. I don't think there's anything else I can do on this particular stretch. Meat Shield with 5 gifted. Caesar, I did ya mom. Confused Frenchie, Funky or Cobra, and Fried, recipients of 5 gifted from Meat Shield. Thank you so much, Meat Shield. Please, heroes, save our lives. All right, well, here's the fastest and most effective vaccine mankind has ever produced. Nah, not like that. Differently.
Hey man, those are bits.
We want better ventilation. Can you give it to us on a sugar cube like the polio vaccine? That'd be great. Sneak it into my Bud Light. Wednesday, thank you for the 100 bits. Yeah, I used to think of it as like, okay. I used to wake up and if I got to listen to like NPR during the course of the day before a stream happened, I'd feel really good about it because I'd be like, oh, you know what? I'll have things to talk about today. But it was like it was a bonus if I managed to catch some NPR before, if I managed to catch some news before stream started.
Those are bits.
It was a novelty, or it was a perk if I got to catch news before the stream started.
Of the newest denizen of the cave.
And nowadays, with the way things are, man, I feel like part of my job has become, you know, listening to NPR, watching CBS in the mornings, reading articles when I have the time, trying to keep myself abreast of what's going on. Just because I feel like I have to show up, armed with education so that I can make like what's the word I'm looking for? Like panel style discussions and reasoned discourse debates. And it's so weird that like being like a panelist every day on like a state of the world style, you know, face the nation type series of conversations is almost a daily occurrence now, which is weird. Russet Red, thank you for the 100 bits. Sort of Grown Up gifts a tier 1 sub to Arkham Assassin. Thank you so much, Sort of Grown Up, for the gifted sub. It came out too fast, I don't trust it. So like the 10 years of research based on the knowledge we acquired on the coronavirus that it was a likely future threat. That's too fast? A decade of work too fast? I don't know, man. A lot of it just feels like obstinance. Obstinance? For the sake of obstinance, define obstinance. Stubbornly adhering to an opinion, purpose, or course in spite of reason, arguments, or persuasion. Obstinate, resistant to change, not easily subdued, remedied, removed. Obstinate like a fever. Yeah, it feels right. That and feckless might be the two most perfect words we've come up with today for what we're seeing and why it's so frustrating. Obstinate and feckless. Right. It's I don't trust the things that I'm hearing from I don't trust the things that I'm hearing from the government, and I don't trust the things that I'm hearing from doctors. But I will slap this horse dewormer in me because Joe Rogan said it was a good idea. My cousin is a conservative Southern Baptist Republican ear, nose, and throat doctor in Mississippi. And he's dealing with much the same thing where he's working tirelessly to try to get people to follow guidelines because he's not politically charged. He went to school for this. And he's super frustrated because my uncle, who is a gigantic dude who has been between 300 and 400 pounds most of his adult life. My uncle and his wife got it, and he was convinced he was gonna die. And at that point in time, my ear, nose, and throat cousin was on call, basically, for the family to offer advice and to help get him set up with a hospital bed at a time where there were no hospital beds. And he managed to survive, and he managed to get through it. I'll go ahead and grab cancer. He managed to survive, and he managed to get through it. In no small part thanks to the guidance and help of my cousin. And now, my cousin said, hey, now that we're on the other side of this, do me a huge favor and go get vaccinated. And my uncle's response has been, I'm gonna let Jesus take the wheel on that one. I don't think I'm gonna go get the vaccine put in me. And it's just like, This guy pulls all these strings and gives all this guidance and gets you a hospital bed at a time where you sincerely thought you were gonna die. Asks you to take the medicine that'll keep it from happening again, and you're just like, Jesus has got me. We've come for penis jokes and not news. My penis is very small. I want you to get what you paid for. I don't want to deny anybody. I know what the audiences really are here for. I have a very tiny penis. We've also found out that the horse dewormer has a high chance of turning men sterile. Every time I think there might not be a god in the world. Silver lining that. I never want to go so far as to be the person who wishes harm on people, you know? I don't think that makes me, you know. I think that's that's a very, like, let's just do this. I think it's a very, again, it's a very selfish thing that I don't want to give into this idea of, like, man, I hope these people get sick, or man, I hope these people get hurt, or man, I hope whatever. I wanna try to rise above that, but man, the fucking high road's exhausting. The high road is fucking tiring. It'd be so much easier to just be terrible and aim it all at the other side. Yeah, like Mitch McConnell, Justin could get hit by a meteor. Mitch McConnell could get hit by falling airplane debris, and I would crack a bottle of champagne. That'd be fine. My mom still gets mad that I refuse to be civil about being happy that Rush Limbaugh died. Gleeful about that. Certain individuals are just anchors on the ankle of society. The worst among us. Yeah, I won't feel too bad if and when bad things happen to them. Because yeah, generally, yeah. So for some people, it's just a net positive for the human race. But you know, I'm angry and exhausted and let down by humans in general these last couple of years, but I still haven't reached the point where I'm genuinely willing / able to kind of like sink to their level and be like, yeah, I just hope other people get sick. I just wish ill on these people as an inevitability. I can't do it. Not even to the people who I feel like deserve it. One of the Koch brothers died on my birthday, and I saw a rainbow. Imagine the serenity I felt about it. Yeah, Lord Smos, honestly, like, if you really... I'm sorry, I'm peeling after my sunburn. If you really take some time and sit down and get to know the people that you're arguing with, and I try, I swear to God I try. I know that a lot of the times, like, I'm sure Mouse Soldier doesn't feel that way, but I genuinely in the past have tried to defend his right to have very conservative beliefs. It's stuff that I don't... it's stuff that I can't rationalize or be on board with, but you know, I try my best to hear out the other side, but generally speaking and genuinely speaking, a lot of the times, man, when people really play their cards out, like when you sit and listen to all that stuff, you know, play out on the table, it is actually a little bit difficult to not feel much besides, like, I don't know, pity sounds a little too condescending, but I'm glad I'm not in their mindset, and I'm glad that I'm not in the life circumstances that put you in a place where that's all the things that you're thinking sound reasonable. You know, for example, I threw out there, I was like, yeah, you know, ultimately the people who seem real nonchalant about engaging in real reckless activity are the ones who won't suffer negatively from it going sideways. Like, it won't really have any negative effect on their life. To which that dude's response was like, I don't care if it's me, I don't even want to live. And I was like, well, see, that doesn't make me agree with you, that just makes me feel real sad that you feel that way. I have a gorgeous wife and beautiful children and parents that I'd like to see a little bit more before their time is up. I like my job. I got things that are shaping up for me. The irony is the last couple of years have sucked for humanity, but they've been awesome for me. And I feel guilty about that some days, but at the same time, just like, yeah, I'm sorry you don't have good reasons to wake up in the morning. But it's certainly not enough for me to be like, yeah, the rest of humanity should feel that terrible. Yeah, the rapid Limbaugh dying was like when what's his name, Fred Phelps died. Was it Fred Phelps, the guy that was the head of what's that god awful terrible? Why am I gathering coins? Westboro Baptist Church. Yeah, those are the fuckers. Don't expect me to light a candle for Fred Phelps, you know? That's a net positive for humanity. But I still haven't reached the point where like I'm wishing ill on individuals just because they frustrate or anger me. Some days it's harder than others. My brother's an anti-vaxxer, came down with COVID the other day. I love him and all, but I hope he suffers and I hope he survives and all that. I don't know. I'm adopting a real Jedi mentality, you know? I'm trying real hard to hear Obi-Wan in my head. Yoda. I'm running a lot of... I know my mom would like to say that I'm sitting here wondering and thinking to myself, like, what would Jesus do? Because she desperately wants me to come back to church. But realistically, what I'm thinking is just like, would Yoda be okay with how I'm doing, you know, this? Would Yoda say that I'm giving into the dark side? I don't know the exact series of it because I haven't really ever committed it to memory, but like, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to the dark side. I'm trying real hard not to give in to, like, you know, the fear-mongering and anger and hatred and thinking of other people as truthfully being my enemy. I'd like to think, generally speaking, that I don't have any real enemies. Not in the traditional sense of the word, like real enemies, you know what I mean? Like the kind of person that secretly is out to get me. Hard not to take holy water. The Matrix trailer dropped. I heard it looked good. I haven't seen it yet. East Mascara would have been good. Yeah, it would have. It already feels like I'm struggling to get shots out of Isaac. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like I'm struggling to get tears down range, as it were. I mean, if this is them shooting fast, what is shooting slow gonna feel like? Yeah, Ludo technique would be great. Not to bring it back to Isaac, but Ludo would be great. I'd be more than happy to take Ludo. Oh, I have to make sure to get the Fool card. I almost mucked this all up. It's in here somewhere. I feel like I've walked by it. There was a part of me that wasn't even thinking about it. I know you wouldn't get paid for it, but is that something you could possibly stream while you eat lunch, the Matrix trailer? I wish that I felt comfortable doing that. The only times that I've ever streamed trailers was when the Twitch bounty system set that up. And ultimately, I didn't always even feel safe then, but the... Ooh, that's something. Hold on one second. Yeah, I generally did that, hoping that Twitch would have my back if push came to shove. Hoping that everything would be okay with that. But at the very least, I had At the very least, I had the legal of the bounty program behind me. I get a little bit leery about just running one and hoping everything's okay. Cause like, you know, what if there's copywritten music in it? At the very least, some iota of claims clearance has happened with stuff that's gone through the bounty program. No, Russell, you can post links, it's fine. Left of the secret room is the Fool card. Word. Thank you. There it is. Huge study supporting ivermectin, I think is how you say it.
This is the story
As
of the
COVID
newest
treatment was
denizen
drawn
of
over
the
ethical
cave.
concerns. Independent researchers are finding glaring discrepancies in the data. So nutty to me, man. The same people that were, what, like willing to... The same people that were willing to eat the shit that cleans aquariums. The same people that were genuinely going like, so if we put a flashlight up our ass and drink bleach, we'll be okay? Code Crusher, Tier 1, 36 months, 3 years. A gifted sub from Lost Romeo. Code Crusher, as always, dude, it is a pleasure to see you, my guy. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't understand this, like, this anti-intellectual movement. This is the same thing when Obama was running for president. Because people said, like, wow, Obama, you know, academically is very smart. Like, on paper, this is a very smart man. And they were like, oh, he's an elitist then. I don't want a president smarter than me. And I'm like, I do. I really want presidents smarter than me for a change. I don't want a president I can drink a beer with. And it's kind of that same thing now where it's like, I just want a president that feels like he could be my buddy. And I want to turn to Facebook and have Facebook help me decide how I'm going to beat this thing. I desperately, yeah. As me and the president should not have the same IQ. I should not be in the running for like, oh, is Taffy smarter than the president? The answer should be no. The answer should always be no. The answer should always be no. Taffy should never be smarter than the president. Never, never, never. That's one super secret room. Where's the other one? Sorry, this is just gonna take a second. I need to find it. That's not it. Struggling to see where it could be.
Hey, man, those are bits.
Oh, shit. Are they both in the same room? That's banana balls. I think they're both in the same room. Look at this shit. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Noah drops 100 bits, says, hey Taffy, better listen here. I want you to know that although those people will almost certainly die of complications from ivermectin overdose and or COVID, their corpses will be free of river blindness and dewormed. That's the freedom worth fighting for, gosh darn it. Hey, speaking of people who are immunocompromised that I don't want to see die to a preventable disease, Noah's here. Yeah, people were saying it also lowers male potency and causes sterility, which, I mean, honestly... They say every dark cloud has a silver lining, I guess. What does this item do again? Allow me to show you. Allow me to show you. It creates, if you haven't taken a deal with the devil, and we haven't, it creates 2 deal with the angel items and drops a couple of spirit hearts. It does 1 deal with the deal with the angel item if you've taken a deal with the devil before. I brought it in here because if I wasn't impressed with what I picked up, at the very least, I could turn it into something else. I think I'll probably take PhD. We've seen quite a few pills. I Can See Forever is baller good on the next floor. Doesn't really help me here. I love Tractor Beam. But I don't think it does anything here. Turdy Touch is not better. Noah, what are you doing? I'm gonna take this. It doesn't really help me all that much, but it does take it out of the deal with the angel rotation. No, this is to say, like, as of right now, we're at the cap for tiers. So it doesn't really help us, but it does take it out of the angel room rotation in case we see another one. I can't take I Can See Forever with me, Taffy. Please don't do this to yourself. You can take it with you, but you have to drop it right now.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
1 second, let me do this real quick. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting as shit. It doesn't help us anymore, though. Does it help us? I don't know. Let's do it. Let's get some items, and then hold on. And then we're gonna address all this generosity that's showing up all of a sudden. I gotta get the Fool card back. Yep, Arkham Assassin sees me trying to muck it up. Yeah, that's true. September, those are cheaper now. Was it Champion did 100 gifted on Tuesday, but he paid 400 bucks for 500 gifted, or sorry, 400 bucks for 100 gifted subs. Saved himself $100. Basically, he'd be losing money if he didn't gift all those subs on Tuesday.
Isaac!
Okay. Whew.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
Come on. No deal with the angel makes me sad, but that's okay. Fool card. Bat. We came out of this floor okay. I wouldn't go so far as to say we're killing it, but...
Justice.
Oh, you know what? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Damn, I should have done that in reverse order. I would have liked another I Can See Forever. I don't think it's gonna matter though. Mausoleum 2 is the last place where we're gonna have secret rooms, if I'm remembering the structure of the game correctly. This item used to be a run winner. This item used to be a run winner, man. We've not seen a single damage upgrade, have we? Huh. We're not even really trying to dodge him. Yeah, hot dog, lots of mustard. Give me back my children. The shield is surprisingly putting in work. I think I'm gonna ask Amber, like, when push comes to shove, I think I'm gonna ask Amber to do the hot dogs with white onion and yellow mustard. Maybe a little bit of relish. Yeah, it's getting to be food o'clock. I'm pretty hungry. I've re-engaged with Re-engage with intermittent fasting. I'm sincerely nervous about this run, man. It's just dawning on me that we've seen no damage increases. I mean, cool. I like flight, but I've been doing IF from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. It's been working great so far. I mean, like, today, I wanted to go to the gym, but I got to bed late, and I just refused. I refused to be tired during stream today, so I opted for sleep instead of going to the gym this morning. And I won't go there at night because it's their most busy time of the day. And again, I don't want to be a breakthrough case and bring it home to my boys. I go at the crack of dawn because it's relatively empty and I'm the only one masked up. So the whole point of mentioning that is to say, on the days where I don't make it to the gym, I'm gonna be pretty forgiving to myself about that because of the spike in the Delta variant. That said, that means that I've got to be that much more diligent and intense about tracking my calories. That I will forgive myself about not making it to the gym, but I have to make sure that I stay around 15 or 1600 calories for the day, just so my body ends up in a caloric deficit for the day. Oh, this is such a noisy run. Please be a damage upgrade. I'm begging you. Just begging you. All our friends are coming back from PAX with negative tests. Good news all around. Nelstar posted this AM. Good. Spectacular news. I'm not against people meeting. I'm not against people meeting safely. Oh, that's really, really good. I'm not anti-people enjoying themselves. I just want people to do it responsibly. Broadway just opened back up. Hadestown had a sold-out audience of fully vaccinated people who still wore masks. That's the kind of responsible fucking grown-up. That's the kind of grown-up response that I'd expect to something like this, you know. That's how I would hope that grown-ups would handle it. That's true. Noah says I'm not you're not anti-meeting and anti-fun. We couldn't be friends if you were. I'm the patron saint of fun. I'm not taking some sort of weird pleasure in everyone being sad and isolated and alone. It can be done and handled responsibly. That's what I'm looking for. It's amazing to me how few people are willing to do that.
I spent it. It's gone. Just get over it.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's gone? How can you have spent our savings?
Just like that, we got damage again, boys. If I could just find some coins, it'd be all set. Hello? He's so wee. Damn, dude. If there was some way to drop an item in there, we could still re-roll stuff if we could just get it to item rooms. There's some damage upgrades. I feel bad too because like my mom, who has always been like the devil's advocate for almost every stance I've ever taken in my life with anything, who, you know, has lived in small town America for quite some time now and is you know, a conservative from Idaho, and before that, Texas. I found it very telling that she and I kind of landed on the same... So loud. She and I landed on the same side of COVID, as far as, like, you know, we both took it seriously out of the gate. We both, you know, supported being overly cautious. I thought it was going to be a point of contention. I thought for sure that she and I were going to end up fighting over it because I was going to cancel a trip to come see her with her grandbabies. But she recommended it before I did, and I felt bad because now we talk about small town America these days the way that we would talk about like the most dangerous inner cities. Where I told her, I said, oh yeah, we went up to Strasbourg for a long weekend, and we went and spent time in the mountains. She said, oh, how was it? And I was like, naturally, it was beautiful, but there were just so many... there were so many people that you could tell were like the militant anti-maskers and anti-vaccines, a bunch of like Confederate flags and Trump Pence signs and stuff like that. And she was like, oh my God, you didn't talk to any of them, did you? I was like, no. She's like, good. You get into a spot like that, you keep your mouth shut, you keep your head down, you don't end up getting shot. She's the one who's for years been trying to convince me to move back to Idaho, and nowadays she's just like...
He's self-destructive and disturbed, just like his father. Look at who he has to look up to. And you're drunk again, aren't you?
Shut up, Maggie! Shut up! You just keep pushing me like this. Leave!
Good! Leave! We'll be fine without you. Abandon us like you've abandoned yourself.
Yeah, she's not let like her previous ideological alignments. She's not let her like political affiliations cloud her judgment when it comes to like what a responsible human being should be doing during this time. And she doesn't let it blind her to the fact that she was just like, she heard about this place. She's like, oh my God, Confederate flags and like a whole bunch of like fresh Trump paraphernalia. It's like, you didn't start any shit, did you? And I was like, no. She's like, yeah, I can't really wholeheartedly endorse you guys moving back to Idaho. She's like, how's Virginia doing? And I was just like, we're over 70, almost 80% vaccinated. And our governor's a doctor, so... She was like, yeah, as much as I want you guys home, maybe stay in Virginia for a while. And I was like, yes, ma'am. The fact that we're currently at the point that Mexico is more progressive on pro-choice and the Satanic Temple is going to save the rest of us from militant Christian ideals is something else. It's oof, man, it is, feels very Taliban-y up in here some days. It's just a different religion. Feels a little, and the more I hear about the Taliban, the more I realize that they're not as alien as I would like to believe they are. My dad started down the conservative rabbit hole with my sister, who's a medical provider. She told him if he didn't get his shit together, she was going to stab him with the vaccine while he slept, because he wouldn't turn her in for it. That was, yeah, basically Marsha said the same thing to Brad. My mom said the same thing to my dad, where she was just like, you can get this vaccine like a grown-up does, and we can get a $10 Kroger gift card, or you can get this vaccine while you sleep, and it'll just go wherever I stick you through the covers, but I'm seeing my grandbabies again. And she said it was as close to a major fight as they have had in recent memory. But when push came to shove, he got onto a phone call with my Republican conservative Mississippi living cousin, you know, Trump voter cousin, who's an ear, nose, and throat doctor who basically said, Uncle Brad, you got to get the shot. And that apparently was enough to push him over the edge the right direction. Yeah, die the hero or live long enough to see your country become the villain. My fiance and I were looking at houses yesterday on Zillow. One of the listings had a big Confederate flag on the wall and pictures listed online. Being in Spokane, Washington, I guess the Idaho bleeds over more than I realize sometimes. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, just how disconcerting it is to see the Confederate flag in states that weren't in the Confederacy. And at that point, you have to look them dead in the eye and be like, this isn't about heritage, is it? This is about black people, isn't it? And they're like, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, Idaho was never in the Confederacy. You right. This is about how I don't like people who are brown. You're absolutely correct. Ah, got me. Fucking disheartening, man. Confederate flags outside of the South. What do you got for me? Boy, nothing I'm gonna miss. I don't think rubber cement does jack all here, too. I'm shocked to say I'm gonna take Strange Attractor. I love rubber cement. I don't like any of these items. Yeah, people are talking about how the Dakotas are littered with Confederate flags, Mr. Drop the Soap, the other day. I don't know if that puts me on Beelzebub territory. I just don't know what else to do. It's gonna explode and I'm gonna have to take whatever it gives me. I didn't need the planetarium anymore because we don't have any more secret rooms. There's one up next door to me and I live in northeastern Ohio. Yeah, people were saying there's a bunch of Canadians who've embraced that, and it's like, yeah, try to tell me it's about American heritage now. The anti-vaxxers in Alberta seemed to change their mind once it was a $100 incentive to get vaccinated. Quite a cheap price for my rights. Yeah, that's the, you know, once there's something in it for them besides civic duty, it's amazing how fast they'll compromise their morals, you know? I don't know. It's honestly, it's fine. My mom and I talked about the fact that we were irritated that we were happy to do it for free out of a sense of like self-preservation and civic duty, but then we hear about other states filled with more stubborn people, more obstinate, feckless people, using those big $5 words we looked up today.
You need to confess your
and that those people are in like drawings for $1 million lotteries.
Let his light inside you cleanse your soul.
You are insane. You are taking this too far. Can't you hear how you sound?
Pray with me. Pray for your salvation. Come, pray with us.
For fuck's sake, we took down the Lee statue yesterday, Taffy, and those MFers have the Confederate battle flag in the north now. My favorite meme so far, I'd take a bullet for my country, sit down, you won't even take a shot for your neighbor. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like the same people who are just like, I need to be able to open carry an assault rifle at a Starbucks in case I gotta, you know, protect my neighborhood from a threat otherwise unknown. And it's like, dude, damn, no super secret room on this floor. That sucks. The moon card's so good. Any other floor we'd have one of two to choose from, but we didn't get it until it was too late. Yeah, the past couple of years has been proof positive that, like, these urban cowboys, man, these suburban Doc Hollidays, it's never been about taking care of your neighbor. It's always just been about wanting to feel like a badass. I need my AK in case Red Dawn happens. Exactly. It's never been about protecting those more vulnerable than you. It's always been about just wanting to feel like fucking Clint Eastwood. To feel like Rambo. If you got it in Michigan, you got entered to win $1 million. Yeah, didn't Ohio do the same thing? I got this vaccine and all I got was a much higher rate of survival in case I got sick and a lower chance to pass it on to other people. And this stupid t-shirt. Yeah, Vectrometer, it's been weird how it's been weird how the last couple of years have exposed this sort of weird regressive nationalism that I think we all sort of knew existed, but just didn't realize how eager they were to be in the spotlight and out of the shadows again. At my blue collar factory where I work, I had two people I had money on getting it bad. Their physical shape and health, and the fact that they were the people who refused to get the vaccine. Yesterday we learned one of them is in the hospital with COVID pneumonia, and the other hasn't responded to texts or phone calls after reporting positive on Tuesday. Oof. Oof. I had COVID. I still have a hard time breathing from time to time. Get the darn vaccine from a Texan, an actual state in the Confederacy. Confederacy, trust me. That's the thing, right? Is like I'm working hard not to be the person who wishes ill on people, but it's just frustrating. You know what I mean? Oh, what am I doing? Kill this man. Your money is your damage, you big dummy. It's just frustrating to see a whole bunch of stuff go down that didn't have to go down, you know? All of this was avoidable.
Where are you going? Wait! We need you! Your son needs you!
I'm doing more harm than good. I just can't do this anymore.
Please, please don't leave us!
I didn't see where he went. Look up, sure. There's some money. Meanwhile, in Nebraska, we've got a governor pausing Texas, saying he's pro-life and then illegally acquiring drugs for the death penalty using taxpayer money. I don't know, man. I feel bad for folks. I feel bad for a lot of people these days. That's it. I feel bad for a lot of people who feel very helpless. Oh, praising Texas. Ugh. Be very different laws, man. Would be very different laws if men carried children. Would be very different laws on the books if men carried children. I hate that so much of streaming is having to take stances on stuff like this these days. It's echoing what I said earlier. I would feel like a coward not trying to like speak my convictions, you know? But I also hate that I have to. Used to be once upon a time these kinds of questions were the things you didn't ask people. Polite tenets of conversation dictated that it was like, what, like religion and politics you didn't talk about. Now I borderline have to each day. I have to like wake up each day, put my back in the corner, strap on my sparring gloves, and be like, I think this, and then I either get like a handful of people patting me on the back, or I get a handful of people going, "You fucking idiot sheep." And I'm like, okay, here we go. Yeah, it's just like, honestly, Nom Nom Freshman, I'm surprised that at some point the conversation we had about like everybody's favorite fast food hamburger didn't somehow become political. Sure, I'll take a range upgrade. Just get those shots out as far as they'll possibly go. There's a part of me that's a little bummed out I didn't take homing with me. I had the card for homing. And I think that would have been more helpful here, but I'm a sucker for seeing what other items I can get. Hi, honey. Yeah, probably. I'll take those last two hot dogs, I guess. Yellow mustard, white onion, maybe a little bit of relish. Thank you, baby. I think we're gonna be okay. It's just gonna be arduous. on. I want to not get hit. But there's no way I can engage with chat as heavy as all the conversations have been today. There's no way I can engage with chat and not half disregard what's happening on the stream. There we go. Yeah, once upon a time, conversations like this would get you called out by the streamers and mods for stirring up the shit, and now it's just commonplace, everyday, new normal. I was in the hospital last week, COVID negative, but kidney problems, thyroid problems, staph infection, mass swelling in my legs, getting old sucks, but I got the vaccination shot. Over 40, thank you for doing your part. The only guy I work with tries to talk politics every day. He's a big Trump anti-vax pro-life person, and I tell him it's best if we never talk politics. I just get frustrated. Because it's like, oh, well, I'm pro-life, and it's like, all right, well, wear a mask and get the shot. And you're like, oh, no, I'm pro-life when it's inside a uterus.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
Once that thing's outside, it may have to die of COVID so that I can go to my concert. Once that thing's outside the womb, it's not my problem anymore. Can you turn up the volume? I can't hear you shooting. Toto, tier 1, 43 months. Toto, thank you so much for the support. Oh, this is gonna take forever. Do your thing, Shield. Yeah, once it's old enough to go to elementary school, it's old enough to die in a mass shooting. As long as that thing's in somebody else's uterus, though, I've got to say over whether or not it lives or dies. It's weird for me because I used to be in that camp. When I was a kid, I used to feel, not just entitled to have that opinion, but I felt empowered by the things that my religion at the time taught me. It was basically just that, like, we were morally correct and doing God's will, like that kind of stuff. It was taking me years of kind of battling against that and being like, oh, you know what? I may have just learned some stuff wrong. It's taken me decades to figure out that I much more value minding my own fucking business. I value minding my own business. Oh god, cheesesteak legs, tell me about it. We started off this morning talking about like who has the superior fast food hamburger. It didn't take long to all of a sudden just be like, hey Taffy, defend every moral stance you've taken in the last 2 years. And I'm just kind of like, okay. I thought maybe we'd talk about like the superior style sandwich. But yeah, no, I'll defend every decision that I've had or every opinion that I've had in the last 2 years. We were doing okay until a viewer used the term pandemic with quotation marks, which is ridiculously smarmy in my mind. It already comes with that tinge of arrogance that I'm just like, oh, okay, well, this is gonna be an uphill fucking battle. Deep breath before you get started, Ryan. Once we hit that, I was just like, all right, well, it's gonna be kind of one of those days. I've been on vacation recently, I can deal with it. If it lasts forever, is it still a pandemic? All I can really do at this point, man, is continue to be safe for another month or so until my boys can get vaccinated. And once I've taken care of my camp, I'm not going to be reckless, but I'm going to stop worrying so much about what other people are doing.
Someday, Bumbo, lucky Bumbo, someday the Bumbo is a bad Bumbo. He get coin, and Bumbo lose coin.